So, this is my first attempt at video blogging. Right now my hands don't want to type anyway, so what is the subject for today? Spanking, believe it or not. I was part of a discussion on another site. The basis of the discussion was spanking. Do we spank our children? My discussion was nice and polite and the whole bit. I gave my opinion on what spanking is and the fact that I don't spank my kids. I personally don't see a reason to. That's just me. I don't presume to judge other people for the way they parent their kids, but I don't feel a need to. Granted, I'm around 24 hours a day. I can be consistent with discipline because I'm here all the time. If I worked out of the house, possibly I'd have to resort to spanking. I never have. Okay, and yeah, I've got 5 kids, they're little hellions. One is GDD, one is ADD. Trust me, there's been times when I've actually reconsidered my stance on spanking. Okay, but anyway, you get 400 parents into this discussion that are all defending spanking. Some of the replies literally just made my skin crawl. Like, people talking about, a hand is for love, you should use a wooden spoon or a belt. You're kidding me, right? Please tell me you're kidding. I would much sooner condone a smack with a hand than with a belt or a wooden spoon or a newspaper, somebody even said. My first thought was, is it a child or a dog? Anyhow, somebody brought up the point that somebody who feels like I do, that spanking is abuse. And of course everybody jumped on this person. They went completely psychotic. So me trying to be the analytical type, and I jump in and I said, okay, well, let's simplify this. I said, you say spanking isn't abuse. Well, what is abuse? And what would you consider child abuse? And somebody answered, physically hitting your child. Oh, in anger. I said, okay, so your child runs out in the street, or your child steals from you, or whatever offense that your child is prone to do. You're angry, you spank your child. You're hitting your child out of anger. How is this not child abuse? And, well, it's not the same thing. I said, why isn't it? If you smack your child across the head, that's child abuse. But change the location, and it's discipline? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that just confuses me a little. As far as I'm concerned, location is irrelevant. If you're hitting a child, it's abuse. There are other ways to handle it. I have 5 kids. They run wild. They drive me nuts. There's some days when I'm banging my head against a wall out of frustration. I don't need to spank them. And the other people who say, well, if you're not spanking, you're not disciplining. Excuse me? Removal of privileges, grounding, taking away a toy, restricting them from activities that they enjoy. My daughter, going to her friend's house, for example. I had to cancel that off for some bad behavior during the Christmas break. My son, he's absolutely hooked on his video games. Screw up, fine, I'm taking the video games away. More often than not, let the punishment fit the crime. If they've stolen something, I make them pay to replace it. Once you reach a certain age, then you can simply discuss. You can talk to your child about why what they did was wrong, other ways to approach a situation. There are always ways of dealing with it. Again, I don't want to be preaching to parents who do believe in spanking, like I said. Because I'm around 24 hours a day, I have the, what is the word I'm looking for? Convenience of being here and seeing every little thing they do and being aware of every little thing they do. So I can discipline consistently on a regular basis, every minute if I absolutely have to. If I was working out of the house, well, yeah, then my time with my kids is shortened. I've got to instill the same lessons in a shorter amount of time. Maybe then I would have had a different viewpoint. But if you do believe in spanking, don't kid yourself. Don't sit here and tell me it's not abuse. I know it is. Child Family Services considers it abuse. Don't soft soap it. It's a last-ditch frustration attempt to get through to your child.
What are you doing in this way?
I got that. Every single child that I saw, or every single parent I saw on that site that defended spanking. Well, I was spanked as a child and it didn't do anything to me. Well, I was spanked as a child too. It did do something to me. It made me terrified of my mother. It made me not want to be able to approach her when I did something wrong or when I needed her help because I was terrified she'd hit me again. And these were just regular normal spankings. I don't want my kids to be afraid of me. Respect and fear are not the same things. My children respect me. Anybody who knows my kids will tell you that they're extremely well-behaved little things. Anyhow, they're well-mannered, they're well-behaved, they bring home good grades. Even Jennifer with her ADD, she's improved so much this year. I don't have to spank her. Even when she was running wild, I didn't have to spank her. And for anybody who is sitting there thinking, well, maybe if you had spanked her, she wouldn't have run wild. Different issue altogether. ADD, not the same thing. The fact of the matter is, don't try and make it something it's not. Don't sit there and say a smack on the head is abuse, but a smack on the butt isn't. It's no different. The only thing you're doing is changing location. The intent is the same. Okay. So anyway, this new site, by the way, is My Lot, the one that I posted a couple of bulletins for on MySpace. As much as I think half the reason I'm trying to get people to come to My Lot is just to post more good discussions, because some of the people on there are so utterly stupid, you want to climb through the DSL line and just strangle them with it. I've considered doing that, actually. So anyway, this blog's over. This works so much better. I can be irrational and I can ramble and not wear my fingers out at the same time. Have a good day.